everybody, to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. It is Tuesday, March 23rd. Maz, it's your favorite day, isn't it?
Ugh,
favorite day of the week for Maz.
Least.
I'm getting a shirt that says Maz hates Tuesdays and TB12. That's all it should say.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I'm your girl, Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Maz. And like always, we've got Fish and Art, now joined also by Easy D behind the glass, keeping us in line. Make sure you guys are joining part of the show by joining in on the conversation. You can hit us up on all of our social media across the board at Woodward Sports. And of course, that you are downloading, sharing, liking, spreading the word on our app. It's just Woodward Sports. You can find us on the Apple Store, and you can also find us in Android. We have got a jam-packed show today. So, Maz, why don't we kick it off with Maz's sports update?
It will be my pleasure. Brought to you, as always, by MyBookie. Don't forget to use the promo code Woodward to pick up your 50% bonus on your first time you put money in there. Your first deposit, they will match up to 50%, up to $1,000. Michigan is still dancing. They beat LSU last night. It took a while, but they finally put them away late, 86-78. This was not your typical Big Ten game. This is an athletic team, this LSU team. They were running up and down the court. I didn't think Michigan could stay with them at one point, but they did, and they imposed their will at the end. They win it by 8. They reached their 4th straight Sweet 16, 21 apiece for Eli Brooks and Shondae Brown. Wolverines will now face Florida State. Leonard Marshall's team, Florida State, Sunday at 5 o'clock. Michigan, the sole Big Ten survivor. As I told you yesterday, Maryland goes down in flames to Alabama. They had 9 teams in the tournament. Only Michigan remains, the only one I really care about. Anyway, the Pac-12 is still unscathed. All 5 teams made the Sweet 16, and we're going to tell you about all those games coming up, so keep it right here. How about this? This was in about 45 minutes ago. NCAA President Mark Emmert says he will meet with the hashtag not NCAA property athletes and our own Isaiah Livers, who is leading the charge with a guard from Rutgers and a guard from Iowa. He says he will meet with those kids after the tournament. So a lot to talk about there. You know what they're standing for. They want their piece of the pie. How about Michigan women's hoops? One and done for Michigan State. They go down last night. They got knocked out 79-75. Michigan plays tonight, number 6, against Tennessee, number 3, for a spot in the Sweet 16. So Michigan women trying to match the boys. Tigers and the Yankees right now from Lakeland. Wings in Nashville tonight against the Predators. Pistons will play at Indiana tomorrow. Guess what? Houston, we don't have a problem anymore. They snapped their 20-game losing streak. Congratulations, John Wall, his first triple-double since 2016. And look at all this. They love their coach, Stephen Silas. We played the cut yesterday, how he was just despondent when they lost 20 in a row at that press conference. Couldn't say a word. Basically just said, yes. But they backed their coach. They love playing for him. I hope they can go from here. And we had a sad note in the NBA. The great Elgin Baylor passing away at the age of 86. The Lakers Hall of Famer averaged a career double-double. Over 27 points a game. Over 13 rebounds a game. Rookie of the Year. 11-time All-Star. But alas, he never won a championship because he wasn't allowed to switch teams back then and pick whoever he wanted to play with. NFL Falcons signed former Panthers running back Mike Davis. He played good last year when Christian McCaffrey went down. He gets 2 years, $5.5 million. That's a bargain. The Giants, I don't know where they're getting this money. They keep on spending. They signed former Titans cornerback Adore Jackson, 3 years, $39 million. And chalk up another one on the Deshaun Watson chalkboard. He has been called a serial predator now. We'll talk about that. Lawsuit number 14 against him. And we take you on this day in sports. Back in 1993, guys, my New York Knickerbockers and the Phoenix Suns in a classic. I should have given this one to Darren for his beats. How about this beat now with Marv Albert on the call? Oh, easy. You're killing me. I did
What
send
did
it.
he sound like?
That was great. Yes, look at Patrick Ewing. Oh, look at Amari Stoudemire. Yes, Anyway, we'll get you that sound, I promise. Anyway,
That was
the Knicks,
better.
The
That
Knicks
was
and
better.
the Suns with my man.
That was one of your better impressions.
Well, I love
too.
Marv Allen. I've listened to him since I was a kid. Yeah. So that's it. That's This Day in Sports. A lot more This Day in Sports coming up. Keep it right here.
So I guess speaking of impressions and impersonations, our fans want to know on our social media at Woodward Sports if you have a retaliation or a comeback for Sean's mocking of you.
No, because you know what? I didn't. It's not a mocking. It's pride for me. He had me as Marlon Brando as the Godfather. Give an offer you can't refuse. I loved it. So thank you, Sean. I'm not making fun of Sean. I got nothing to make fun of him about. He's going to Florida in a couple of days. He's happy.
Okay, I'm gonna hijack this conversation as we get into talking, because last night, and Pilar doesn't understand, to the people of Detroit and elsewhere, here's the education of Tom Mazawey, because I didn't even have to see Maz or be in the same room as him last night to know that the way that game went, and as Tom said, it was a bit of a nail biter and back and forth, and I know a lot of Michigan fans were sweating it out, but when it comes down to it, what you saw, and to bring it up before we talk about what we saw, but that's sort of the culture I was talking about. But there's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Oh, there's 120 degrees of Maz watching a game. So Maz, can you elaborate to Pilar a little bit that you don't play for the team, but you have the emotions of somebody that is living it, and how many emotions. And before the show, you told me that God bless you. You had Lily, one of your daughters, watching the game with you.
She wants to.
Can we get an update of how many emotions? Because I counted literally, Pilar, about 16. Hyperventilating. I said,
Easily.
when did you stop hyperventilating? Probably at the buzzer. But Maz, how many pacing steps? How many, we got to put a ticker on you to see how many steps you walk.
I'll tell you, man.
But
if I was
can you
wearing
explain what that game did to you, even though it's only a round of 32 game?
I, obviously invested in Michigan, as you can see. Go Blue. Love them. I'm not a Walmart Wolverine. I've loved them more than a lot of people here in the state of Michigan has loved them, because that was really the only team I got to watch when I was growing up in New Jersey. The Wolverines were always on. So that was my team, the Big House, Keith Jackson, the whole 9 yards. This Michigan basketball team, love them. Absolutely loved them over the years. Yeah, they've gone through ups and downs. Michigan is now firmly entrenched as a basketball school. We all know that, Jim Harbaugh. Thank you. Anyway, watching that game last night, and Lily is watching it with me. And she's on her phone a lot, but she is watching it, and she's involved because this is a school.
And how old is Lily?
Lily's 18.
Okay.
And she's ready to go to.
She can vote.
She voted.
She's an adult.
She is. She's an adult.
So not only your adult child is watching. So this isn't Daddy's. This is Daddy's little girl, but it's not her baby girl.
No.
Now she's bigger, so she's got to experience a grown man who I can attest to has loved the Wolverines. Which is, guys, don't try to figure Maz out about his diehard love for Michigan and his hate for Tom Brady. Do not even try to figure it out. That's where you get lost in the head. But so that will put it more to, okay, so you're 18-year-old's doing her 18-year-old things on the phone while you're watching this game. Yeah. So please, how did it start from the tip-off, and how did it? We saw some of the highlights where they ran into a little bit of trouble, got blocked. Guys were hitting threes. So can you please explain the first half?
All these runs that each team went on. LSU seemed like was owning the game the first 10, 12 minutes, and though Michigan kind of made a good run at them, took a little bit of a lead, but gave it back, but then at halftime took a nice little lead in. But then I saw LSU score the last 2 buckets going into halftime. I'm telling Lil, I don't like the way this ended. I don't like the way this half ended. I think they should have slowed it down a little bit. Michigan plays really well when the game is a little bit slower. LSU likes to run the floor, more athletes. So I was happy at halftime, but I was a little nervous. Of course, the second half, LSU makes another big run, gets up, I forget, maybe 6 points or so, and then Michigan puts another run on them. And by the time I was feeling good once Wagner had that jam. Once they broke the press, I was like, okay. And then they still put the press on, get a couple of free throws. I'm like, Lil, I think we're okay now. We're okay. We're up 10. They win it by 8, and I'm good. And I had it all. We had it all the way. I thought, Lil, we had it all the way. And she keeps asking me, Dad, so what's after the Sweet 16? What do they call the 8? Because she wants to know in front of all her guy friends. She wants to be the boss. She wants to tell these guys like it is. I'm like, it's the Elite 8. She's like, and then it's the Final 4, and then what's the championship? I'm like, is this the national championship? She says, that doesn't have a name? I'm like, no, it's just the national championship. But that's where we want to go, and she knows that. And she has Michigan in her bracket. So do I. So does Maddie. Kathy has them as well. Abby, she went off the board. Abby has Gonzaga.
I wasn't, I got this.
My cheekbones hurt from laughing so hard right now.
I got disinterested when he started talking about how smart Maz is. No. It's about the emotion. So, I tried to give it to you a little bit, and I can't do it justice because... I love Maz so much is that he was entertaining me by me just thinking about how he's watching the game, and to know that he had to share that with your daughter. At the end of the day, that's what I love to hear, that win or lose, but the sports brings it, and you
Phenomenal.
are one of the diehards
Thank
of
you.
Michigan.
Maz, I don't know if you were watching the screen.
I didn't get a chance to watch it because I try to watch I'm trying to get that so Darren don't point at the freaking camera.
My cheekbones hurt so much right now from watching D-Mac impersonations.
You said you wanted Maz to do a Sean impersonation. Well, I just did a little bit of Maz. So you did a Maz.
I just feel that at the end, D-Mac, what you were missing is, and I'm like tearing to my eyes. I was laughing so hard.
What have we missed?
I feel like at the end when he was like calm and everything was good and his wife was good, his daughters were good. I feel like at the end you just needed him like stroking the cat.
Yeah.
Like,
I did have Jeter next to me.
Good.
I had Jeter, my dog.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So sorry. Let me go back to that point. Ready, rehearse, where it's all good, and looks over to Jeter the cat.
The dog.
I'm sorry. Jeter the dog starts patting him, and then that's when you know. When Jeter says it's all right, then it's all right.
And we went out, and he took a nice little potty break.
For that.
A nice potty break outside. I'm like, Jeter, let's go out for a celebratory crap.
He was holding it the whole time, wasn't he? All right, guys. When we come back, more Sweet 16 talk as Michigan makes their 4th straight appearance to the Sweet 16 when we get into the big hook. So do not go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Sorry, Jeter.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
My friends, even if your perfect bracket has been busted, remember there is still time left for you to claim some really great prizes thanks to Hall Financial and all of our great sponsors. We mean prizes like a PS5, a 65-inch television, a Detroit-made Shinola watch from Bridge Street Exchange, a Top Golf gift card from Grow Green, and we even have something for the person who comes in very last place. A awesome new toilet. All right, guys, welcome back to The Hook. It is time for our big hook of the night. Michigan makes their 4th straight Sweet 16 appearance. Was anybody doubting this? I know Art was. Art said that they were. I remember Art said
you went against us.
LSU was gonna was gonna win.
Hey, Art,
Going
never
for the
go.
upset.
Never go against the family again, Art.
He's running out of the studio.
Never
go he's coming
against
to the, fish
family.
Tank. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a terrible mistake on my end. It was a last minute. I'm gonna just take a random bet. Easy had texted me during halftime. Was like, man, your bet's looking good, and then they were down by like 10, and I was like, no. So go blue. That was a not even a brain over a heart thing. That was a stupidity over stupidity bet. So.
Well, I feel like so many teams. It was the upset over the weekend. It was just take all the upsets because that's what was happening. So you weren't far off.
No, but it was just a bad bet on my part. But I was like, you know what? Underdogs are winning. So yeah, go LSU. And I felt like all of my Michigan notoriety went out the window. I'm from Ohio now, so.
You are. I
Yeah.
mean, you put your Michigander card on the counter for a minute, boy.
There are a couple of things on that. The consolation is at least you were in the bet to the end. If you would know Maz as well as I do, you would have been entertained, win or lose, to know what he was going through. And easy, nice job on the kibosh on his bet to help the Big Blue come home. You taught you well, young Padawan. So that's all right, Art. I don't know. Hopefully you'll learn.
Yep. You guys chime in on this topic. Did you guys think for 1 second that Michigan was not going to be able to pull off the win against LSU last night? Hit us up on our social media at Woodward Sports. We've got people telling us now that it was a good game, nail biter. At one point, they did think that LSU was going to take them, and there really was that point where, I mean, going into halftime in the early second. Second half, yeah. I was like, oh, goodness, this is going to be a very long night in my household if Michigan was to lose. And thankfully, they won.
But that's where it goes back to when we were talking about earlier in the day about the culture of what Juwan Howard has brought. Because it's not about when it's easy. It's about when the going gets tough, who can stick to the game plan. And if you see... You hear that in the pro game all the time, 60-minute game or 48-minute game or whatever game they're playing to play the full game. And what you saw is those guys persevered. It wasn't going to be easy, but those are the tests that when the things, like I said yesterday, missing the last shot against Ohio State in the tournament. But what do you learn from? You learn that it's about the process and you got to do your job. So what I saw last night was such a team effort. And when you do that without your best player, that gives everybody more confidence. This only does them well. Hopefully, Isaiah Livers can get back and being their top guy. But the perseverance and the test that LSU gave them was something that they can build on and they should be proud of, because that was, even though LSU went on runs, it was going to happen. That's sort of the game. Maz brought it up earlier that, wow, we haven't seen LSU play as much. They're fast. They're up and down the court. Can we handle it? Yes. They knew what they were up to. Well coached. Adjusted at halftime, which great NBA teams and great college teams do, and I think could be a stepping stone. They got to test next game, but you got to like where it is. You said it, Mass. Sorry, Jim, we're a basketball.
Yep.
Prove it wrong, but it's shout out to Juwan Howard and his staff, but
terrific.
all the players for persevering and buying in and. That's the one thing. Do you see lessons learned? Do you see progress from that loss in the Big Ten, from the last loss against MSU? Because there's a difference between limping around and sort of reasons for it. They got the positioning right. They got the substitution, the rotation right.
They adjusted beautifully.
They have the adjustments, right? Where they realize that now they can't sit back and just say, okay, it's going to go this way. Well, you got to have more adjustments. Scotty Bowman, the bingo machine. You get mad. Scotty was infamous at getting mad and going, you, and you wouldn't even be on the same line. You go out and you'd score, and he'd be back there doing his ice chomp. Yeah, like this. Like, I'm a genius. And
Rain Man.
No, that's it. That's exactly what it was.
Yep.
But it's about the process, and that's buying in. That's the mentality, next level. And again, I'll preach it back. I'm seeing things that I see that Juwan Howard has learned in the Miami Heat organization by Pat Riley and Eric
Look at these guys. I mean, Phil Martelli, the assistant head coach, the guy's a genius. Been coaching his whole career. To have that guy on the bench with Juwan Howard was genius of him. He's got the basketball acumen that, he's got the experience that Juwan Howard didn't have. He's the one that said weeks ago, Eli Brooks is the MVP of this team. Eli Brooks, he got hurt right before the Big Ten tournament. He was in a walking boot. They're like, he's not playing. He played in the Big Ten tournament, dominated. Now look at him. 21 points. Chande Brown, 21 points. All these guys, they pick each other up. That's why I said I'm sticking with Michigan. I don't care that Isaiah Livers is out. Do I want him in there? Of course I do. But look how they adjust. Look how they pick each other up. This is a complete team, and it's coached second to none. These guys get it.
In hockey, we always say that in the playoffs especially, there's three things. And it starts with defense. So it's goaltending, right? It's staying healthy, and then it's getting the bounce, right? So in every sport, you can flip that over to whatever it is. And it's about, at the end of the day, it's about staying the course and being able to adjust and realize. And so Maz, what they realize is they have the ingredients, right, of the knowledge of the older respected coach.
Yep.
The youth of this, and the best part is they all understand how important they are to the process.
And he says, empty the tank, they empty the tank. That's it.
Yep. And that's the most important thing, right? When you're out there playing, you put everything on the line. So, Maz, they've got Florida State coming up this Sunday.
Yep.
Gives them a couple days to rest.
It's a long time, man.
I
wish
know.
we wanted to play Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, but in this COVID era, that's not happening. So we got to wait till Saturday and Sunday.
Again, like you said, blessing for us, not only for Isaiah Livers, but Brooks off his foot, whatever. So because the mentality's there.
And he stretched his groin last night. He slipped on the court.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is so, it's look at it as a positive, look at it as the advantage. So in every other year, when you're clicking, but this might actually help. We might actually hear, because of the layoff. So, but it's taken that availability. They didn't make the rules. They're just playing by them and hopefully winning by them.
It all seems to be coming together. It
I
really does.
I like this break. I think that they very much need it, and hopefully it gives Isaiah Livers a couple extra days just to get him that much closer to returning. What do you think needs to happen on Sunday for them to pull off the win against Florida State?
Well, Florida State will be another athletic team. They're not going to play that plodding, Big Ten game. Michigan's going to have to adjust to them now. And Florida State, they're well coached, always have been. And they're going to be a tough out. But that's what this tournament's about, right? You play the best teams and you beat the best teams. Michigan's favored by 3.5 right now. That's not that much. I'd give the points all day, twice on Sunday.
All right, guys, let us know what you think. Do you think Michigan will be able to pull off the win on Sunday? Hit us up on our social media at Woodward Sports. When we come back, are Tigers fans at risk of not being able to attend opening day?
No.
Did we hear a rumor here? No. Is that what's going on? Do not go anywhere. We've got so much more on The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fayette at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Hey guys, D-Mac here for GrowGreenMI.com. Grow Green, the country's largest hydro store, buys in bulk and passes the savings on to you, the growers. Looking for soil, they have over 1,000 pallets in stock, including ProMix, Dairy Dew, Roots Organics, and Fox Farm, all at the lowest prices in the state. Check out their dank deals for insane deals like bags of Ocean Forest for $8 and gallons of Turpinator for just $50.
The Turpinator.
The Turpinator, yeah. Don't get it mixed with the Vladinator.
I will not.
Different things. But they'll both light you up. Anyways, mention the show for a free t-shirt. Click growgreenmi.com for more details.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from my bookie studios. I'm Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Maz. And behind the glass, we've got Fish, Art, and Easy.
And we got fans in the audience today, too.
We do.
We got Chris Mills. We got TikTok Mike in the house.
Mikey TikTok.
It's fun to have a live audience. I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think? I see an MSU logo over there.
Well, yeah,
you can't be that way, Pilar. You're not that way.
Oh, I am.
You're like that. You're like it's either us or them. They're not.
I'm just wondering.
He's sitting like 30 feet away from you. There's not enough room here. Is that?
No, I'm just wondering. Like now that MSU is out of the running.
Oof, that hurts.
Do you convert over to a Michigan fan? Do you want somebody
Some do.
from?
When you're like me and you're Canadian,
he doesn't.
And you're a
He's
fan
kind of fair
Michigan,
weathered.
Right? Fan of the state of Michigan. You cheer for everybody except when they play each other. Like then because you marry into Spartan family, you have to cheer for the Sparties over the blue. But any other time, I'll cheer for both of them because I know growing up how important it was and the mentality of both schools. Right? Where East Lansing and State great. Say what you want, but that's you got to work and work hard and stuff like this. Where Michigan has more of a arrogance to it, but again, that's it's part, not everybody, but there's some sort of stature to it. But again,
there is.
People live in different places. We are in Birmingham. They act a lot different than they do downtown Detroit or Flint or Saginaw.
Well, the shores,
or
St. Clair
even in
shores.
Mad Heights where I'm at. Where what up?
Madtown.
Yeah, Madtown, or over there where Tommy's got over on the east side.
The shores.
For the shores.
Ken Cal and me.
You and Kenny Kalzinski, that jackass.
I just know that if I know what is good for my marriage, I will never say anything other than go blue.
You don't even own any green.
So you've been bought. You've
No.
been not bought, but
Yeah.
you're influenced by your home life.
Yes,
it's
but
not,
that's how most
if-
people are,
it's
though,
not be-
D-Mac. Like, I feel like so many people, they don't even go to either one of the universities, but either because somebody that they know or a family member went, or you just grew up liking that team, you make your children like that team. That's just how it is. You're either born in Michigan, you're either born into a State fan or a Michigan fan. And
I'm
that's
gonna have a hard
Here's the
time
thing.
here, guys. I am.
What?
Why?
I'm gonna have a hard time, and Lily already knows this, and I'm not pushing her to go either place. I truly am not. But I told her if she goes to East Lansing, great place, Big Ten, great, beautiful campus, one of the best in the Big Ten. I just will still have a hard time. She knows I can't even get the words out of my mouth.
I was saying you can't even say it.
I will not be a
Emphatic,
Spartan
bro.
fan. I'm just not. I'm just not.
I feel that's just the
I'm paying
culture.
them.
It's your
I'll
baby
pay
girl,
'em.
bro. It's your baby girl. Just
I know.
for her. You don't have to mean it, but you have to do it. And it doesn't have to be. It can always be under Michigan. But the thing is, you should always. And it's funny because this is the way it is. You're either hardcore blue and white. You're either hardcore maize and blue. Or you're both, or you're in the middle, like sort
You
of
said
either.
blue and white, by
He
the
meant,
way.
he meant green.
I know
and
you
white.
said.
green
You
and
see
white,
how
yeah.
good you are. You said blue and white.
You know, see, that's the thing. Is that your influence, but it's also too like I have friends, and we all that's I guess that's the beauty, right? And you're a transplant, Matt, so you have no. It's not like you went there and your daughter's going there. I can understand that. I have friends like that. You just won't cheer. You have the State College of New Jersey, Rutgers, over where you are.
Are you?
So,
Are you?
So
I went to
that's-
St. Peter's, for crying out loud.
Do you know, let me just tell y'all how crazy this is in my household. When I went home and I was discussing with my husband the whole Tom Izzo and situation just last week about, him grabbing the player's arm. I mean, my husband thought that it was like the worst thing ever. You don't put your hands on a
Oh,
kid.
be quiet,
It was
Anthony.
like this big thing. But if you know my husband, he'd be like, where the heck did respect go? And he barely even touched it. If it was flipped, if that was Jawan Howard who did it,
if
it'd
was
be not a big
John
deal.
Smith, if it was anybody but
Anybody,
Tom
you're
Izzo, right? If it was that
absolutely
coach
right.
from Florida, not naming
Absolutely.
anybody, right? But but
Yeah.
that's the inbred of, or not that's
The
the wrong word.
mentality.
That's
That's
the
the-
bread mentality.
Yeah, we get it.
Right? Yeah. Big Tone, the bread mentality, because how many people there's so many. It's not just your husband. Right? It's all of him and his buddies, and they all have that mentality the same way. Right? Whereas me, it's because you're Canadian and you're just happy to get out of the country and come over here and watch college football and cheer for whoever let you in
Who's the big
stadium.
college in Canada?
Come on, man. My cousin played that. They got 3 downs, a bigger field. I mean, the ball's not even the same. The goalpost is at the front of the end zone. Somebody's going to die. You know, I mean, come on. We know that soccer across the pond and football here where it's at. I mean, I'm a rugby guy though. Me and
Okay.
Fish.
Monday Night
That's why
Football for Fish. Anyway, Lily's watching the game last night. She's got her Michigan blanket on. She has her Michigan socks on. She has the Michigan sweatshirt on, and she asked me, "Dad, can you go get me a cup of water with ice and lemon in it in the Michigan cup?" And she's like, and Kathy was looking for it. She's like, "There's no Michigan cup here." I'm like, "We have a Michigan cup, Kathy." She's like, "Well, it's not here." Turns out that Kathy had it in the refrigerator with a little water in it, and she had the asparagus in it.
Oh, my
fresh
goodness,
asparagus
that's
sitting in it.
amazing.
So I'm like, "Lily, your cup is being used by fresh asparagus right now.
Right.
You'll have to deal with just a Lions cup."
Produce
My
preservative.
poor wife, what she puts up with, the glassware at my house. I mean, it's all sports and kid stuff.
It's all
I got
Burger
McDonald's
King,
glasses at home.
collectible
I got a
back in the
Hamburglar
day.
glass.
He's got the Star Wars glasses.
No, that's Star
collectible.
Wars.
I have
that's
got
it.
some of those from when I was a kid, and I
I
used
got
to
the
eat McDonald's.
Hamburglar. I
Like,
got Mayor. Who was the mayor?
Mayor McCheese.
Mayor McCheese. I got the. It's my glassware is primo, folks.
all
Primo.
right, guys. All right. Do we have what the matchups are going to be for this weekend?
The
I know
Sweet
it's
16?
Saturday.
Yeah,
the
we-
Sweet 16 is coming up this. So
We
let's
do.
ratchet up. Let's wrap up the Sweet 16 talk. Saturday, Oregon State is taking on Loyola.
Loyola is 6.5-point favorites. That's Sister Jean, baby. Sister Jean is favored.
Three ball.
You can't go against Sister Jean.
No way. They're good.
3-ball versus defense, right? Loyola's
Yep.
going to try to.
Loyola's gonna-
Oregon State's been shooting the rock,
Beavers.
especially from outside of 3. So, yeah, let's go. Yeah, come on, Sister Jean.
That's right.
me and the big G. She's like my sister for real.
By the way, Sister Jean was born on August the 21st, 1919. Do you know what happened on that day in sports?
No.
Babe Ruth with a double, 2 triples, 2 RBIs for the Boston Red Sox. Babe Ruth on that day in sports on Sister Jean's birthday, August 21st, 1919.
There's only one guy in the
Wow.
world that could bring you that. Thank you, Matt.
That
You're
would
welcome.
be Tom
I'm
Mazawey,
more-
Sister
for
Jean,
sure.
God bless you. Go Loyola.
for
The second
sure.
game is Villanova and Baylor. That's a 5 versus a 1. The Bears are playing good. They're a 6.5-point favorite in that game. I kind of like Baylor in that game as
I
well.
like Villanova in that game. I
Okay.
think this is out of the games on Saturday for the upset. This is the upset, and Villanova is just they're playing really, really well.
How about Oral Roberts there? Pilar, you like those Oral Roberts guys.
Taking
The
on-
Golden Eagles.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. They're taking on Arkansas. Arkansas, an 11-point favorite. I like Oral Roberts in the
Well,
points.
Oral Roberts has the best shooter in the country, and the kid his name is spelled Max Abmas, and it's pronounced Asmus. So I don't know where the B
Asmus?
comes, but he is one of those guys. And like I said, we talked about yesterday about why are these upsets in these teams? Well, the teams that are together, but some of these players that we haven't heard of, like that's what the Sweet 16 tournament
it's
is.
great.
He could be somebody that we're following, down the road. And yeah, you always love the name Golden Eagles.
What's the next one?
All right, and then the final one for Saturday, right before we take our break, Syracuse against Houston. Who we
Houston.
going here?
No,
Houston.
I'm taking the Cuse. The orange is hot. Houston lucky to beat Rutgers. Rutgers should have finished them. Houston is good, though. I remember a few years ago they had Michigan on the ropes until that long 3-point shot won it for them. So Houston they're a player in this game, but I'm gonna take Cuse to cover that 6.
I'm gonna jump on our buddy the Diesel Matt Derry's bandwagon, his alma mater, and
You bet.
I like the way those Orangemen are playing too.
Hey, if they're in the tournament, I'm playing Syracuse. They are just a great tournament team. They always have been, and they're a New York team, upstate New York.
I would
Gotta
say
root
that's
for the
why you
Cuse.
pick 'em.
Yeah, they're
That's why
upstate.
you pick 'em.
The Sunday games are good too.
All right, guys, let us know what you think is going to happen this weekend, who you think is going to pull off the upset, or do you think it's not going to be another crazy weekend? It's going to go back to the way it should be. Hit us up on our social media at Woodward Sports. When we come back, we will wrap up the games for Sunday and talk opening day.
Uh-oh.
Do not go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Guys, it's Maz from MyBookie. Are your brackets busted? Yeah, probably, but you still got a shot. If they're never busted, if you play with MyBookie. All the games, bet them any way you want, straight, against the spread, thousands of lines, and prop bets on the games. Do yourself a favor. Get a head start by signing up with the promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000, 50% up to that first $1,000. That's free cash, credited right to your account. Do what you want with it. The best part is you always have access to the action on your phone or on your computer at mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Woodward. Get that free money. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. All right, guys, let's wrap up Sunday's games. Great games on Sunday. Of course, first, it's going to be kicked off with Florida State taking on Michigan. We're all voting for Michigan, right, Art?
Are we voting for them or are we picking them?
Well,
is this a vote?
I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
See, now you know why I put Art in the penalty box, right? Now you realize more and more is why he's in the sin bin. Even he gave the nod. He nodded from behind. We got him outside. We almost got him evicted from the building, but not quite. But yes, he's even on board because now the fact we get to the Sweet 16, we want to see Michigan finish this thing off. And Matt said it earlier. It's not going to be easy against Florida State because they run the court. Like they always do, but you got to stay the course.
Yep. Then after that will be Creighton against Gonzaga. These are your boys, right? Gonzaga. Do you have them winning the whole tournament, or there's just still?
No, I have. I just think that they're, they can be beat, right? And they're gonna, hopefully be beat by Michigan in the Final Four, but that's still ahead. But Gonzaga is just everything that I've said that Michigan needs to do. They've just continued to do it all year long, and they don't rest on their laurels because they've come out and they've taken over games, and just it hasn't been. Now Creighton, I don't know too much about them, but just by the name, like Maz said, they're like a Syracuse. Creighton in basketball, the Blue Jays there for a reason.
You gotta love the Blue Jays.
They're there for a reason. They're always there. Blue Jays.
Yep, getting 13.5 from the Big East. Creighton, they never used to be from the Big East. The real Big East is long gone, but they are a Big East team now. 13.5. Gonzaga. They have just killed everybody. Let's face it. I can't go against them. I got to play the Zags and give the 13.5, and the Blue Jays will fly home for the summer, for the spring.
All right, and then after that game, you've got UCLA taking on Alabama.
This is the killer game for the Michigan State fans. This is the game you guys can be in because, of course, UCLA in that play-in game, you let them off the hook. Michigan State had them, should have put them away. Now UCLA playing with some they got confidence. They're playing really well. Look what they did. I mean, they're running over teams right now. Alabama is also running over teams. They beat Maryland like a dog yesterday. Alabama's a 5.5-point favorite. UCLA playing well. Man, that's tough. I got to take UCLA in the points, Alabama to win the game.
Well, you know what, Maz, you brought up such a great point, but exactly what I said for what the game Michigan State, the Jekyll and Hyde with UCLA. What we said, we were looking UCLA to spark MSU the way that MSU sparked UCLA.
Yep.
Like, this is culture. This is how it's built in. And we know UCLA, when Maz was a little kid, John Wooden and all those Kareem and all these guys.
Bill Walton.
Right, but it's just like the legacy of it and the fact that when you get into it, when it's a basketball community and stuff like that, at this time of the year, they got motivated. So we were looking for MSU to be in this spot, but you can't. It's not Christmas, Spaz. There's no ifs, buts, candies, and nuts right now. So let's stick to. But I agree with you. UCLA could win this game, but take the points.
And then finally, we've got Oregon taking on USC.
USC pulverized Kansas last night by 34. Probably could have won by 50. USC is a 1-point underdog to Oregon. I'm taking the Trojans all day. And how many times on Sunday, Mac?
Twice. Does that mean that there are 2 points then? Because I was going to ask you earlier on the -3.5. You'd say Michigan twice on Sunday. Does that mean you have to give 7 points?
No, you don't have to.
No, this game should be a great game. That should be down to the wire. But I had USC making it this far in my pool. One of the ones that I think that I had. So again, Trojans, University of Spoiled Children, all that stuff.
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness, that is
especially against your boys now,
funny.
UCLA.
Well, no, that's where I got that from him.
I like
University of Spoiled Children.
Yeah, well, that's what the Euclids call them.
Oh wow!
I like
wow!
that. I never heard that.
Just dropping
Now, isn't USC more of a city school compared to UCLA? Isn't UCLA a little bit more uppity?
But that's just sort of like what we just did with Michigan State.
Right,
Okay.
right. I also just want to remind everybody that Darren's oldest son is also
The head coach of
UCLA
UCLA men's hockey.
Oh, great.
Yes. So yes,
So there's a little bias,
proud
Maz,
dad.
but
Yeah.
there's perfect bias.
Yeah.
So I would just root for USC when they didn't play the Trojans or when they didn't play the Bruins.
Hey, Ukla's still alive. Ukla could win. Ukla. That's what I called him as a kid. Ukla.
UCLA.
UCLA, yeah.
All right, friends, let us know who you think you've got advancing on our social media at Woodward Sports, and also make sure that you are downloading our app. You can find it in the Apple Store and in the Android Store, Woodward Sports Network. Okay, so we will move on to Tigers opening day, because there's nothing worse than being so excited about possibly being able to attend opening day.
Darren's birthday party.
Darren's birthday party.
Yep.
Things are starting to open up, and now, I don't know, was it here? Are we pointing fingers, calling out names?
Well, I've heard it from a few
Is it
people.
from
Joey.
Are we
Joey
pointing
this morning.
fingers? Joey?
Joey from the morning
Joey?
show.
You know where I put this? I'm going to tell you a story. Okay.
Wait, we got to say what
Wait, we
got
got
to
to say what we heard.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Pilar.
So allegedly, Joey is hearing from very reliable sources that the Tigers are having to cancel
No.
events.
Maybe.
Possibly
All
canceling
sports.
events.
They're,
Well, no, this was like with the Tigers. The Tigers were having to cancel some outings and events, and that this could possibly now turn into opening day being affected, where fans are not going to be able to attend. What's our take on this? And then I'll let you guys know a little bit more about what Governor Whitmer has been under the gun about now this time. So,
Well, you know, to me, if you watch the numbers and let the science preach it, that there has been an up spike, so it wouldn't. I don't know. You know, my whole thing is, I was gonna say, is that it reminds me, you know, being a kid and being promised something or told, okay, after all this, you've done what you needed to do, you can do this. Oh. And as long as the reason's there of why
Right.
you're taking it away, but, you know, it's like, you know, the mountain bike I was promised for my 14th Christmas that never came.
I'm sorry.
terrible. You must have been a
I'm
terrible
saying
child for
I let
Santa
it
not to
go.
bring it
hey,
to you.
look, I'm almost 49. I let it go.
Santa brought
That
you
was
something
35
35 years ago. Maybe it was a birthday present. Mazawey
Yeah.
comes back up. But I'm working on it, letting it go. But I let it go.
Working
a
on
long
getting a
time
mountain
ago.
bike, or working on letting it go?
So,
No, but it's about, because it's always been about the answer, or
Right.
explain to us. So if she came out and said, you know what, with the uptick and we just feel whatever and we're gonna do this, now not be happy, but at least you can deal with that as the answer. What's it say?
is that GMAC?
Big Gretch, GMAC Cash.
GMAC Cash?
Big
Is that
Gretch.
what that is?
That's
so
funny.
here's the thing. Just recently, Governor Whitmer was under scrutiny again, like always, but this time it was Dr. Fauci who had said, you know, he's not really, like, he respects her, but he's not really in agreement with how fast she's opening things up. We're so close to having the vaccine open to such a much larger population. April 5th, it becomes available to people 16 and older.
If they will take it.
If they'll take it, and also with underlying conditions, right? Our numbers have spiked significantly. Right now, I just saw in the Detroit Free Press that we have 5,579 new cases in Michigan, 16 new deaths. 16% of our population is fully vaccinated. 28.5% as of March 18th has had at least one dose. We are so close to being, I mean, somewhat in the clear and working on this herd immunity, that some people do feel like, hey, you're opening up things a little fast when we're so close. Governor Whitmer did come out and defend her stance on opening things up fast. She said she respects Dr. Fauci, but she feels the same concern, but things are still opening up. Art, what do you have to say on this?
Listen, COVID is very serious, and I'm not trying to make a mockery out of this or anything, but I feel like she's doing this because Terry Foster told me he was going to take me to opening day. She found out, and she's like, you know what? I'm shutting it down. Big Gretch, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
You know what? I know she watches the show, because last time D-Mac made a plea on this show, things started to open up.
So Art,
she
have
watches.
you thought that maybe she's doing it because you don't deserve to go down to the game with T. Foster?
Which is why Santa didn't bring you your bike.
Oh, bazing! Ow! Pilar, good one.
I mean, hashtag just saying. But the thing is that, so Governor Whitmer has not
Good one.
said that anything is changing. She's still saying things are going to continue to open up. But from what we're hearing, Joey's got sources that is saying that things could actually be in jeopardy, and
She's talking about, from what I understand, she's talking about, well, not she, they are telling us that people going to sporting events, fans, she might shut that down. So there was 1,000 fans going to Comerica. She upped it to 8,200, which is 20% of Comerica's capacity. Of course, across the street at Little Caesars, 750 at the Pistons, 750 at the Red Wings. But here's the kicker. The high school kids, and each high school kid's got to take a rapid COVID test before practice and before games. My daughter now is playing softball, so she's at Lakeview. She'll be probably on the field here in another hour or so. And I guess
Are they doing the nose swabs or the
I haven't
mouth swab?
found out because I have to talk to her. I'll see her tonight to see what they're doing. But they're testing the high school kids. But if they let the kids play football, and some of them played some other indoor sports, they did cancel mostly basketball. They did cancel a lot of hockey. You got to let the outdoor kids, you got to let the outdoor sports play. They got to be able to play out. Now, if you have fans there, a few here and there, I don't see it's a big problem. 20% again at Comerica Park, you won't even be near anybody. 8,000 fans in that stadium, you will not be sitting next to anyone.
Well, but that's the thing, is that they need to open it, because I know at Little Caesars, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, D-Mac. At Little Caesars, they don't have the whole place open. It's just certain areas are open. So it's not like you have all those people completely dispersed through the entire arena.
Or going
it's
to the
in
bathrooms.
Areas. Right.
And stuff
I mean,
like
it's
that.
certain areas. So it's not like those 8,000 people are going to be in the entire Comerica Park. They're going to be in sections.
I hope she doesn't pull the rug out again, because other states are doing just fine, thank you. Ohio's
They're
okay.
Not,
Texas is the Wild West.
So is Florida. They've got numbers that are spiking through the roof.
Florida is shutting their stuff down at 8 o'clock at night now. Miami. You can't get past the causeway if you don't have a Florida license anymore. Right through April, right through spring break, they're shutting it down in Miami because people have gone out of their mind. But I'm talking about a sporting event here.
Right.
This is not a bunch of drunk kids, partying and doing whatever. God forbid, I don't want to know what's going on spring break anymore. Now that my daughters are
now that your
already
daughters
for it.
are of the age of spring breaking, yeah.
But I just don't. It's sports. Just leave it the way it is. 8,000 fans at a game. I understand opening day is going to be a party outside. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as people think it's going to be. People have smartened up a little. But then you look at Florida and you say maybe they haven't smartened up.
Well, but the bigger problem that we're having right now is that so many Michiganders go to Florida.
I know.
We all love Florida, and the mutated one or the other strand.
Yeah, there's another bad strand coming.
Yeah,
and from what I read, it's worse than the other two strands that we've had.
And so we're trying to control what we're dealing with now, and then these strands are mutating, and we can't contain them into one. So people are going to Florida, then they come back. You've got kids that are spending spring break down in Florida, and then they're coming back. They're going to go to high school. So I understand why she wants. The science has shown that in Michigan, we're having a problem with high school kids' numbers rising fast. In other states, it's different. In other states, it's not the high schools and middle schools. It's actually in elementary schools. So each state is handling things differently. But in Michigan, if that's a problem, I see why she's trying to get high school under control. All right, guys, let us know your thoughts. And these are just rumors that we hope are not true, because we do see the governor defending her stance on why she's opening things up at the rapid rate all of a sudden.
It's still slow. It's still behind other states. It's still behind other states.
Yeah, but we had a much larger number than most other states. I think it's opening up significantly faster than what a lot a lot of people feel it should be open.
It's one of these things that we've committed
Come this
to
far.
this far. You know what? You got to play it out with the person that's driving the boat. And, you know, as long, and it's all along is, hey, Governor, just can we get an answer? Can we get an explanation? Just tell us the why. I don't care what it is, but tell us why we're doing this. Because hopefully if the whys add up, then sooner than later, we will all be back to more normal. We won't have to have these conversations.
Well, they're trying to get kids back to school now, and my daughter's a senior. Selfishly, I'd like to see her finish her senior year.
Sure.
I don't see it happening.
You don't think so?
I don't.
The governor's very pro getting people back into school.
I understand that, but what happens if 1, 2, 3, 10 kids get sick?
Well,
what do you do?
That's a problem, right? I mean, that's
or
the
they're
problem.
exposed to it.
But then what do you do? Do you want your kids out there getting sick, or do you want them to come home and be safe?
Of course not. Selfishly,
it's a double-edged
I say,
sword. Right.
I hope they can go to school. I don't think it happens. I think schools already in Utica, some of them are shutting down already. So my wife's a teacher in Utica, in the Utica school district. She is still going to school, and the kids at her school are still going. But other schools, I hear things. Last night I heard something on WDIV, and you know, some schools are shutting down already. They get a bunch of cases.
It's after, I think it's like 5%, 7%. Each district is a little bit different. But if you have too many at one time, then they have to shut them down.
It sucks.
I know. All right, my friends. Thanks so much for your comments on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. We see them coming. We're going to be getting to them. When we come back, we will be remembering NBA Hall of Famer Elgin Baylor. So do not go anywhere. You're tuning in to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to Crumble Cookies! It is Joey from Woodward Sports, and this is my new favorite spot where I like to spend my time because they have the best cookies I've ever had in my entire life, and you won't regret coming here and trying them. Located off of Rochester Road, right next to the Imagine Theaters in Rochester Hills, it's Crumble Cookies. Come try these delicious cookies. They even got their own app. They got curbside pickup. They got delivery. You won't regret it. Just come try for yourself. You'll thank me later, I promise.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. Make sure that you are joining in on the conversations on social media at Woodward Sports. People everywhere are blowing us up saying, these are all rumors. Joey, duct tape his mouth is what they are saying. They want to hear none of this nonsense.
He talks out of his ass, so we can't. It doesn't work.
I hope that this is true. That things are going to stay open because it's nice, the weather's nice, everybody wants to be outside. So keep the conversation going on our social media at Woodward Sports. All right, very sad day for us. We are now remembering NBA Hall of Famer Elgin Baylor.
Number 22 of the Lakers, lifelong Laker, and a guy that's did it all. Rookie of the Year, and NBA TV put a little something together for him in memory of Elgin Baylor.
The sensational play of rookie Elgin Baylor gives the Lakers high hopes for the future.
When Elgin Baylor entered the NBA in 1958, it was immediately apparent that his electrifying style of play would revolutionize the game.
Nobody changed basketball more than Elgin Baylor. Baylor would just blow your socks off. You never seen anything like that before. That he was a forerunner of everything that came thereafter. Elgin Baylor was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan.
I tried to emulate Elgin Baylor's style because I saw him play a lot. His body control and movement around the basket.
Perhaps the most complete player the game has ever seen. The Lakers captain, an all-pro every year since he's been in the league, Elgin Baylor.
Elgin was the first one to go up and hang up there for 15 seconds, have some lunch and a cup of coffee, and, you know, the defenders would all be back on the ground, and he'd finally decide to shoot the thing.
Elgin Baylor, the impossible man with the impossible shots.
With all the style also came substance. Baylor was one of the most prolific scorers in league history.
He became the first guy that couldn't be stopped, regardless of defensive pressure and what measures you took in terms of double teaming or whatever. He was going to get his point.
There's the pass to Baylor, and look at him wheel and deal.
Elgin Baylor scored 71 against us in Madison Square Garden. He set the league record at that time in probably the most dominating
athletic performance I had seen. This was a great talent doing sensational type of events.
Elgin Baylor, regarded by many as the best basketeer in the world.
Baylor led the Lakers to 8 finals appearances, and though he never won a championship, he left his unique mark on the game's biggest stage.
I used to marvel at the competitiveness of him in big games.
Most anybody has ever scored in a finals game is 61. The great Elgin Baylor did that back in 1962.
Baylor is the best forward I ever saw play, and I've seen them all.
In his 14-year Hall of Fame career, Elgin Baylor averaged over 27 points and 13 rebounds per game, and was named All-NBA First Team 10 times. But numbers alone can't express the admiration felt by opponents and teammates alike.
Elgin was a fun guy to be around. He loved to play. He'd be out there all day and all night if you wanted to just keep playing basketball. Elgin was, without question, top 15 players that ever played this game.
Hey, what a player. And I didn't get a chance to watch him a lot. I knew him because I love the basketball history, love the history of sports. But here's a guy that hardly dunked the basketball. He would use the backboard on 75% of his shots. His patented shot was off the boards. Had a great hook, baby hook, just like Kareem. The guy was a stud. He was like a triple. Well, he was a double-double machine. 27.5 points, 13.5 rebounds a game, plus. 8 finals with the Lakers. Too bad they had to run into a team called the Boston Celtics that pretty much owned the NBA and owned the Lakers and basically still own the Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers got him a few times, but Boston got him more than they wanted, more than I ever wanted them to win. I can tell you that for sure. But Elgin Baylor was, LeBron James before LeBron James. This guy was very special. I know you guys really don't know him, haven't watched him at all, but he's a stud. Rest in peace, Elgin.
He passed away at the age of 86, and during that clip, D-Mac, you asked, when did TV get color? Well, the answer, my friend, was that it was as early as 1939 when an all-electronic television system was introduced to the world. It was as early as 1953 that the first complete electronic color TV system was introduced to the world, but not until the mid-60s that shows started to adapt it. So that was probably...
Batman.
Probably Batman.
1966, Batman. Phenomenal series. 2 days a week it was on. And the Batman would come on and it would say in color at the bottom. That's how you knew you were getting a show in color. That was 1966. So
it would say in color in case you weren't, in case you still had a black and white television.
It's telling you can get it in color.
It was just chirping you. Going in color, in black and white. You know what I mean? It's like get with the times. It's 1966. But that just goes to show you, what has transpired, what you notice. But obviously there's great players in every sport that maybe don't get the due they deserve. But you see why some of these statues outside of stadiums that you travel to are erected, and some sports are guys that you don't know, but left a lasting impression of the times. And you remember that's like 50 plus years ago. So I mean, it makes sense. But I think it's important to know where you came from, and if you're obviously a LA Lakers fan, you should know who Elgin Baylor is.
People forget they wouldn't put him. Top 50 players. They wouldn't put Elgin Baylor in it because they didn't realize how good he was. They didn't realize how good a lot of these players were. So, hats off to him. Great career, great everything. Great life he led. And he also was the Los Angeles Clippers general manager. So he had some coaching experience and general managing experience. So rest in peace, Elgin.
Yes. Easy, you got something to add in on this?
Yeah. I just like to say, look at all the NBA players that sit out in games. Nowadays, this guy was literally in the Army Reserves, at the base and would take the weekends off to play, in his games for his teams. I think he still averaged, the second most points that season too. So,
Good call, Easy.
Yeah, legend for sure.
I'm glad. You see, that kid's brushing up on his history.
But that goes
I like
back,
that.
Yeah.
But that goes back to, the Gordie Howes, the Ted Lindsays, the Sid Abels, the guys that sold insurance in the offseason. They played hockey and then they went back and, Ted Lindsay's famous because of getting in the automotive industry, sales and stuff like that. Alex Delvecchio, same way.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, but it is. It's part of the culture, the community, and, but that goes to show you that, they got paid like a regular job.
Yeah. I mean, they're still working. They're still working. Isn't it crazy, though, how you see some of the people that are the most busy time-wise make the most out of their days and their weeks?
That's where it is. You know what? That's funny because you mentioned that, but you really do realize that it's the time. When you can manage your time properly and to do everything that you need to do, that's the best feeling.
That's what Dan Campbell said he needs to work on, right? Welcome to the world, Dan Campbell.
Those NFL coaches, they live and breathe that place. Allen Park, he might as well just live there because that's where he's going to be most of that time. Those guys are a special breed.
Yep. All right, guys, when we come back, we have got the hook of the night, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the Deshaun Watson drama. So do not go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Stick, and I am live right now inside Grow Green. If you go to growgreenmi.com right now, take advantage of their dank deals. They got everything so you can grow the best possible product you can. Even nutrients, water, and look, you just turn around, and your very own. Now that he's fully bloomed, he's beautiful and ready to go. Thank you, Grow Green, for supplying us with everything we need.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from my bookie studios. It is Tuesday, March 23rd. I'm Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Maz. And behind the glass, we have got our guys, Fish, Art, and the newest member to the team who is killing it today. We've got our man, Easy
Art's a good teacher.
Yep. All right, so Maz, why don't you go on ahead and start us off with your sports update?
I sure will.
Come into hour number 2.
Thank you, Pilar. Brought to you by MyBookie. Don't forget to use the promo code Woodward. They will match up to your $1,000 of your deposit, up to 50% of that. Put $1,000 in, get $500. Put $100 in, get $50. That's yours to keep. Michigan beat LSU last night. You saw it, 86-78. They reached their 4th straight Sweet 16. Hats off to Eli Brooks and Shonda Brown, 21 points apiece. Wolverines will face Florida State Sunday at 5. Yeah, you got to wait till Sunday. They are the sole Big Ten survivor. Maryland lost last night to Alabama, so they are done. So 9 teams go in, and 1 team remains, the only one that really here in Michigan we probably care about. The Pac-12 still unscathed. All 5 teams make it to the Sweet 16, which starts Saturday. Oregon State, Loyola Chicago, that's right, those Ramblers of Sister Jean are in it. 1963 was the last time they won it all. And Sister Jean was 44 years old back then. She is 101 right now. God bless her. Villanova against Baylor. The Bears, a 6.5-point favorite. Oral Roberts, the Darlings, number 15. They're staying alive. They're playing number 3, Arkansas. The Razorbacks are an 11-point favorite. Syracuse still dancing. They play Houston. Houston will be favored by 6 on Sunday. The first game will be Creighton against Gonzaga. The Bulldogs, number 1 in the country, 13.5-point favorites. UCLA against Alabama. The Crimson Tide, a 5.5 points favorite. And Oregon against USC. The Trojans, a 1-point favorite in that game. Of course, Michigan 3 over Florida State. Women's hoops. Michigan State knocked out last night. Michigan still playing. They play Tennessee tonight. If they win, they will make the Sweet 16 as well. Wings in Nashville against the Predators tonight. Pistons off. They'll play in Indiana tomorrow. Hats off to the Rockets. They snapped that 20-game losing streak last night. A triple-double for John Wall, his first since 2016. The Falcons signed former Panther running back Mike Davis, a bargain, 2 years, $5.5 million. Giants keep on spending. Former Titan corner Adore Jackson, 3 years, $39 million. And we're going to talk about it. Deshaun Watson, now called a serial predator by his latest accuser, which brings his total up to 14 cases against him, and we will talk about that. Earlier today, I told you back in 1993, Pat Riley and the Knicks and Suns with a little bit of a bad beat. A D-Mac will be proud of this one. Listen to Marv Albert.
Johnson and Rivers in it. Oh, look out. Here comes Rivers after Johnson. We have a free-for-all. Johnson blindsided Rivers. Rivers went down, and this could become ugly. It is ugly.
Yes! Look at Greg Anthony from UNLV in street clothes going after those Suns.
Kevin Johnson didn't see it coming, but if you notice at the beginning of that clip, whoever stood that pickup blasted Starks, who didn't like it, Kevin Johnson. That's old school. It doesn't matter when you look back to it. That's what you like. And that's what I love about Maz, where he brings different things up. It's because it's the history, and it goes back to that's just the way they played back then.
I love that Knicks team. You know what? They didn't win it all. They tried their hardest. They ran into some roadblocks. But that Pat Riley New York Knicks team was special. Yeah, I was 10 years old the last time the Knicks won. You could see this is not the face and body of a 10-year-old. It's been a long, long, long road for the New York Knickerbockers. That's all I got to say.
It's not?
It's not. And
you had us all fooled.
I know. I'm a kid at heart. I realize that. But as you can see, the wear and tear has done something to me on this face and body and this hair, which is gone. 1994, just a year later, Mac, on the same day, the great Wayne Gretzky scores his 802nd goal to pass Gordie Howe for the NHL's all-time leading scoring record.
Wow.
The great Gretzky.
Awesome.
Just a year after that brawl.
That's
See,
pretty good.
It all comes together.
It all comes together.
And later, I got to play the another March Madness cut. We'll slip it in later. People are going to remember this game. Gonzaga against UCLA. I'm just going to say the name Adam Morrison. And a lot of sports fans will know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
We'll play that a little bit later.
There's a bust.
Yep. He cried, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about more of this Deshaun Watson drama. You touched on it you touched on it. I feel like I shouldn't even say that when I talk. Well,
he's doing more than that.
Watson.
He's doing way more than that.
I don't know.
Wow, you're pretty punny, right? You got some really corny jokes. You got some really deep jokes. You're going really into the epicenter. That is a great lead-in. I mean, holy cow! That was.
You
good.
talked about it in your sports update. Now it's 14 women.
The ticker is up. It's 14.
Yep, this is actually the second person that is outside of the state of Texas or the Houston area, actually. This one is, I believe, in California. This one took place in California. This is just getting uglier and uglier. And
what do you have, an RV? He usually does these things in his house, so I figured maybe he took an RV.
Well, this particular set, according to an article on ESPN, he said that the traveling massage therapist alleged that
this is going to make a joke. I was at least going to make a good joke. Is like, what?
I'm not making a joke. I'm just saying he usually does it in the. He usually does it in the.
At least don't make.
He does it in the privacy of his own home. Usually, I'm not making a joke.
Athletes go to California. They go to the Manhattan Beach area all the time, and they train there. And
no, he's just making.
He probably has a house that he
broke
rented
his
there.
MO, Pilar, of having him at his house. Being masseuse, now he rode masseuse. But
it was probably at his house in California.
Oh, he's got two houses? Oh, man.
No, I don't know. I don't know if he does, but most athletes do. I don't know. Easy, save me.
No, 14 is, like I said yesterday, we are at Bill Cosby. I mean,
it's getting bad.
Still, too, we're in America, so he's still got a right to defend himself, and, the league's still looking into it, but It's not looking good, man, and I wouldn't. And again, it comes back to whatever you believe as far as karma, whatever you believe as far as the truth will come out. We made it a point, like you did, Pilar, at the beginning of when this came out, is why now? Well, the pieces are being put together for us, so.
Yeah. Well, yesterday we had some information on one of the articles that said one was within the month of March.
Yeah, that
so,
was
I mean, it was very.
And there are more to come,
recent.
from what I understand. As many
come.
as 10 more could be on the way.
In this article, it says that after he forced her hand on his inappropriate body parts, he told the massage therapist, "I'm not going to make you sign an NDA, but don't ever talk about this." Like, who says that to somebody? Who says that to somebody?
Somebody who doesn't respect another human being.
And these are all allegations. I mean, so far from what we have seen from Deshaun Watson and his camp is that these are all meritless. But now the attorney for the plaintiffs is actually trying to request that the grand jury consider the evidence and determine whether charges should be brought against Watson by the state of Texas.
Wasn't his lawyer supposed to have talked by now? Weren't they supposed to come out with something like yesterday?
Well, I know, right?
Yeah.
They said
they were trying
that
to,
they're going to say they're going to give more information before the end of the week. But I think that it's almost best that they just wait to see what gets filed, how many more women are going to come forward, and then
so if
address
we're waiting
it.
to hear, they already know. They already know that they haven't said anything. No, but they already know there's more things in the. So if we don't know on a Tuesday afternoon at 4:11 Eastern, if it's not out there, right? Trust me, the people know something else, and it'll come out, and it'll come out why they didn't, because people are asking. Everybody's asking the same questions, but again. In the end, you look at society, you go to Holly, you look at the Harvey Weinsteins, you look at the different, and just off the top of my head to name different, it doesn't matter sports, doesn't matter athlete, we heard, Brett Favre and is taking pictures of his junk and stuff like that. Like all this stuff comes out, and the truth should.
Yeah, you had to do it as a
and here's the thing: I'm not accusing her. It's all allegedly right now, but it's gonna play out. And the fact is, this isn't when Elgin Baylor played. This isn't when the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns were having a melee back in '93, or Wayne Gretzky scoring his 802nd goal at '94. This is 2021's. Your MO, your whatever the way that is done, everything is recorded. So it's sort of like watching Minority Report, Tom Cruise movie, or whatever. It's already done. Right? It's already filmed. So if you walk around like I do and just think you're on the Truman Show, that there's always a camera on you, then you can never go wrong.
I think that that's what athletes need to do nowadays. Everybody needs to do that nowadays. I mean, with social media and everybody having their cell phones and cameras on their phone, you can't do anything. Anything you say or do will be thrown in social media, will get edited to whatever way they want it to be presented, and then you're screwed. People lose their jobs at work, a regular office job. I mean, because of what they post on social media, people are jeopardizing their professional sporting careers. We've seen people get drafted way later than what they should have been. I mean, it's one of these things where in today's day and age, you have to walk a straight line. You have to. You have to. Everything is starting to come out.
That's not the straight line you have to walk. You got to walk with pure intention.
Yeah, be a good
straight line doesn't mean you got to be goody two shoes. It means you got to be respectful. You can't do this because this isn't a straight line issue. This is a
This isn't off the line.
No, this is this is not, and the fact that it's 14 and that it's not an incident. This is something that is seriously. If we're talking about all the other things that are serious, so it's got to be accountable. You could say whatever you want. You have to be accountable for what comes out of your mouth, just like your actions, just like anything else. And there's no, like in the media, on the cell phones technology. There's no stats. There's no limit. Right. There's no 7 years for bankruptcy. There's no whatever for double jeopardy. There's no such thing. This will last forever. So
it'll
be careful.
Yeah. Hit us up on our social media at Woodward Sports. We've got a lot of people fired up about this. I mean, people on our Twitter account at Woodward Sports. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Snapchat. His career's over. Everybody's thinking his career's over. Do you guys agree with this?
No. Here's the thing.
You think he's still going to have a job?
Let me throw this out at you. It's not going to happen, but if the Lions and the Houston Texans talk to each other and said, hey, we'll give you Deshaun Jackson right now.
Deshaun
Watson. I screwed that up yesterday, too.
It's good.
Deshaun Watson for Jared Goff and a draft pick.
I can answer that question right now. Absolutely not, because it's a culture thing.
And not only that, we have
want
Sheila.
To bring that stank and you know what? I agree with you, Mads, because you're bringing up as far as in athletes, there's a talent.
Yeah.
There's a talent to what we're going to put up with, but this is across the line. You don't want to bring that in. I would think as far as the culture you're trying to. Now, Hail Mary Queen Patricia, right? Absolutely, they do that.
No, they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't bring.
No, but absolutely, they would think
turn.
about. I just think it's culturally, you're not going to do it. It has nothing to do. This is where it overrides it because of the temperature of the world. It's freaking nobody can handle. And I'm not saying this, but I'm saying you have to be very careful because it's such a sensitive issue that I don't think you want to bring that with what you're creating here.
Now be the Bears. Now you're the Bears. Oh, I'm offering you the Bears deal.
I don't care.
Give me Andy Dalton, 2 number ones, and Khalil Mack for Deshaun Watson.
All day long. If it's not a question of scruples and you don't care,
here's the kicker.
You're going to build it like the old where allegedly, where you're going to wait till it plays out and stuff like this and go with, they offer him that to say because Chicago has an out to say, well, we're going to let it play out and they're going to gamble with it. So, yes, I'm saying in Detroit because of where we're at, no. Right?
Okay,
Chicago, where they're at. Yeah, somebody will trade. Somebody will take
close.
That.
Somebody that's close and knows more than likely there's a chance this guy sits out the entire year if any of this happens.
Right.
At least a year.
It goes.
But he gets to come back and he's only in his 20s and you got Deshaun Watson as your quarterback.
But the problem is that how much evidence are they going to have? Because I feel like where the NFL is today, and we're seeing a lot of specials of women in sports, and, last year there was the NFL had a whole show about, how women have been, how they felt that they've been disrespected and things like that, where female analysts have gone on there and publicly spoken out about their hardships, their trials and tribulations. So I feel that had women in sports not been such a big deal right now, maybe this would get brushed under the rug. He'd serve his suspension if he did do this, and another team would pick him up. I don't think that the Detroit Lions would pick him up because we have a female owner who's very much about women empowerment.
And is that a rug big enough to sweep this crap under?
No, and that's what I'm saying. So it depends how much evidence is shown. I mean, you've seen, there's players that a video is released, and then they're done. They're done. It becomes very real, right? Yep, exactly.
I'm shocked that there's been no video yet because
somebody's got something.
This guy has to have video in his house. He has to. Most of these athletes have video.
Listen, this is like old time TV, right? Where you have to wait for the show to play out. You can't fast forward. You can't.
Right.
You have to wait till next, it's Tuesdays, right? So, Curse of Oak Island. Shout out to the Traverse City, the Lagina brothers up there, looking for the treasure on Oak Island. But that's every Tuesday. I gotta wait for that show. But this is gonna play out because again. We'll find out. Yeah. And the more that something's not done or you don't hear something, that to me that means the bigger it is.
I got a feeling that he's got his security team right now erasing a lot of tapes. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, if that's really what happened, or maybe it didn't happen. I mean, who knows? Keep letting us know your thoughts on how you think this is going to end up. Where do you think he could end up? You think the Houston Texans are going to keep him? I mean, just a little over a week ago, the Houston Texans were saying he's our quarterback. He's our quarterback very confidently. You think he's going to stay in Houston, or do you think another team is going to pick him up now? Hit us up on our social media at Woodward Sports. When we come back, we will be playing a little bit of Me Gusta or No Me Gusta. So don't go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
You don't fumble the ball at work. Hey, Drake Bell, Sean Baligian. See you guys next weekend.
Thanks, mate. Hope Bell so wait till it comes to New Zealand. For that ale.
Guys, it's Maz, and girls, it's Maz for Hall Financial. Interest rates have started to fluctuate, so now is the time to call the good people at Hall Financial. You don't know what's going to happen, so be smart. Make the call now while rates are still low, because you'll be saving money, and sometimes you could be saving years on your mortgage. Hall Financial is fast, and they do all the heavy lifting for you. So get to davidhallmortgage.com right now to get started. Hall Financial, lower payments, better options, more personal attention. Tell them I sent you.
Back to the Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. I'm Pilar Lastra. To my left, we've got D-Mac. To my right, we've got Maz. And behind the glass, we've got Fish. We've got Art. And the newest member of our team, we have got Easy D. Easy, you've got another show on the network, don't you? Or is it just me? That I think everybody has shows now.
I got the Speakeasy. That one's currently out of my basement. I'm trying to get some stew time in here at some point.
Oh, all right.
But,
Keep working hard, kid. Keep working hard. I know some people. We might be able to work you in. You just keep working there, doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Maybe Art will get you a gig on the Art of Combat or something.
For sure. Hey, this Saturday we're doing another watch party. Art and I and
yeah, and hopefully D-Mac. Don't ditch out on us, D-Mac. It's a big one.
It's the
heavyweight championship.
It's Stipe. It's the Modella Cup. And, Stipe Miocic, I can't even pronounce his name, but he's a firefighter out of New York. You see him on the TV commercials. He's the true champion.
He's out of Ohio.
He's out of Ohio.
If it makes you feel any better, Stipe can barely pronounce his own name, too.
Good. That means that's why he's tough. Dude, he's tough. He's a fighter's fighter. He's my guy. Just not only out of Ohio, yes, sorry, bud, but out of the fire department. And the guy, it's a lot like Amanda Nunez, who that's why they're both do the Modelo commercial, but they're both firefighters, and it's something that I think when you see the evolution. So Saturday night, what time the prelims start, bro? What time can everybody tune in?
Yeah, so the main card's going to kick off at 10 o'clock. That's what time we're going to do the pay-per-view. Tonight, we're giving you all the details that you need on how you can win a proper 12 dartboard. So we're going to release that tonight at 7 o'clock at Art of Combat Pod.
Yeah, right on.
All right.
And a little bit of this is that, so Saturday, I usually stroll in right before the first main event card, and my bets that Art's already made have lost. It's even though the fight hasn't gone on, but I just feel like I've lost. So we're gonna change that, Art. We're gonna change that. I might pick the ticket this weekend. You can give me your what you like and why you like it, and I'll show you how to properly use your head to capitalize. Right, where you can also have a guy for the knockout, but when he wins by the draw, it doesn't cost you money. You might break you even, but you're not going to be mad.
That's called a hedge bet.
I'm going to teach. There's a lot these kids need to learn about.
Listen,
if I'm going to crack back out, right, because I don't enjoy it. I don't need the Jones, the rush of winning or losing the bets, but I love sweating everybody else and knowing what it is and being a part of like the team thing or whatever, because it's win or lose. It's not about it. It's the experience to be a part of it and the why. Art lost money last week. Why? He's dumbass because he didn't bet it properly. So if I could say, how'd you do, Art? And he's like, I got another bet. Right? Because I'm saving him bets. When I teach him how to save himself bets, because it's not the money you win betting, it's the money you save from blowing it off.
Yeah, and I'll say, too, that, I tend to bet with my heart instead of my brain, and it has screwed me for so many years. This past weekend, I bet with my brain instead of my heart, and it worked out. So thank you, D-Mac, for that tip. Coming up this Saturday, again, 10 p.m., UFC Watch Party. Join us with the Art of Combat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my big question is, last time you had one of these parties, you had 30,000 of your closest friends show
31.
up. Oh, 31,000. Oh, my goodness. Okay, 31,000 of your closest friends show up to watch. Are they all invited this time around?
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. Let's not set such high expectations.
Oh, no, you're blowing it out.
If I've got a party of 5 people show up, I'm happy. The fact that we had 31,000 was awesome. This card is just as big. The heavyweight showdown in the UFC, the division, it's one of the best. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
This one's better, too, because we looked at this card, the whole time. And who are the other fights?
Yeah, so there's Tyron Woodley against
that's the
Asante
one.
Luque.
That's
Sugar Sean O'Malley's coming back. I mean, it's a stat card. And I know I say that all the time, but the UFC has done an incredible job with it.
And I think what everybody out there, why you should, whether you're just interest or anything else, is because what I loved about it is just to listen to these guys that know what's going on or why this guy's tough or why this guy could win the match. Because in the UFC, it doesn't always play out the way it should. But if his mentality or his game plan, or hear these guys yell, oh, dude, he's got him fighting his game, his match. And then they go, well, why is that? It's because, he's more of a lefty and he wants to get on his right. And it's like sick stuff that these guys. Now, I know about wrestling, a real sport. They're talking about UFC and all this stuff. They know about all these guys.
When's AEW this week? Thursday?
Come on, man.
Wednesday.
The Darks tonight.
My bad.
The whatever's going. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
I saw the thing on
wrestling.
Fox. I'm like, yeah, that's Max Wrestling.
They're
right
all mine, Maz, but don't even get into that. There's so many layers. But if you want to talk, check out Tommy Dreamer's podcast. He's the ECW hardcore guy. I did his last week. They posted it. So go ahead, Easy.
I just want to say we hit that 30K when D-Mac and Easy got that invite. I'm just
hey, Easy, here's the thing, right? You and I know that he had 7 viewers before they hooked up and shot out to Stick for the mobile camera when we were mobile, and most people thought we were in a basement somewhere. But it was
I
awesome.
thought you guys were in a basement. Well, you brought your own chair,
Listen,
didn't you? I mean, you came comfy.
I'm a professional tailgating, pot smoking. I know to post up, and if you bring your desk with you, especially around here, you always have somewhere to sit. So, right, Maz? This is my
got
desk
it in the
now?
office. He's got it in the office with the cooler
way it
attached
is.
to
Yep.
it.
That's it.
That is how
For
you
water.
guys roll. So make sure that you are checking out all the updates and show up to the party because it is a good time. All right, guys, let's move on to Me Gusta or No Me Gusta. Where simply I'm going to give you guys a statement and you guys say Me Gusta, which means I like it, or No Me Gusta, I do not like it. You guys can play along on our social media at Woodward Sports. All
Look
right.
at that. You got your own lower third now.
Oh,
See
we
that?
updated this.
Is it spelled right?
Woo, woo.
The no is spelled right. I know the no is spelled right.
We're all good. All right.
Okay.
So the governor should cancel fans for sporting events. Me gusta or no me gusta? D-Mac.
Oh, I get to start? That's
Yes.
great.
This should be easy, Mac.
Because if I'm going to be consistent, right, which is always along, it's let the science dictate and just give us the reason whether you do or you don't. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to have more access outside if there's something where you, like you mentioned, about the vaccinations or about the high school kids, maybe because she's put the implementation that if she believes that the numbers from high school sports indoors is how have this might help it shut it down. So you know what, if this is what needs to be done for the overall plan, then I'm willing to stick the course, and I will go Me Gusta, Big Gretch.
Oh,
All right. Not what I was expecting you to say, but
I know I throw it, but it's
but you laid out the logic behind it.
yeah, that's
You laid out the logic behind it. Tom Mazawey, te gusta or no te gusta?
It's no me gusta, no deal. But I am with everybody. I'm with Mac on we all have to be careful. We still have to mask up where there's a lot of people, especially if you're going to a store. But if you're at a game, 8,000 people, I'm going to say it again, in a 40,000 seat place is not a lot. I could sit there with my feet up and put my arms around the seats and I won't be near anybody. I don't have to go to the bathroom 30 times because I don't drink beer. I have a soda. I'm happy. A hot dog for the vendor. I'm walking up and down. I love walking the stadium. I love watching the game from different spots. I'm smart enough to stay away from big crowds and all.
But Tom, they're not opening up the entire stadium. Only sections of the stadium are going to be. So it's 8,000 people in a confined area, not the entire stadium.
I get it.
You're not like, woo, I got all this space.
I still have a lot of room, and I don't think 8,000 fans will show up after opening day, to be perfectly honest. Once opening day passes, it'll go back down the way it always goes back down, because there's usually
there wouldn't be as many people as in LCA. Seriously.
Exactly. It's the same thing. It's gonna go down. It's for people. If you want to go out and enjoy yourself, go to a game, go ahead. If you don't want to, stay home.
Right.
I have no problem with it. No me gusta.
No
let
te
us play. Let us enjoy ourselves.
All right.
Be smart.
Easy. ¿Te gusta o no te gusta?
So if I'm me gustaing, I like the 8,000 fans?
No.
No. So the question is, the governor should cancel fans for sporting events.
No me gusta.
You want to go to your sporting events?
Yeah, sí.
Okay. Art, what do you say to this?
Yeah, mark down 2 for no me gustia.
That's 3.
Me da gusta. I sound like Borat.
That was very Borat.
That's 3. 1, 2, 3.
He's nice.
Very nice.
En la vagina.
Me gusta.
All right, Fish, what do you say?
En la vagina.
Oh my. Oh my.
Did we hear what Fish had to say?
Fish, what do you have to say? ¿Te gusta o no te gusta?
I don't know. Personally, I love watching games with fans. There's some sports I can't stand. No fans.
Like what? Which, like, name a sport that needs fans, in your opinion, to watch that without them?
Well, tennis, when they pumped in the crowd noise, I hated it.
Okay. I like
Thank
it.
goodness they only did it for 4 days.
Okay.
But I didn't like it. I was like, oh, this crowd noise is not good.
But in the soccer games, it's good. And in the Europe,
I'm fine with that.
You're fine with that because but it's also too is they have a great flow to it, don't they?
They do.
So it's
one sport I thought they should have used it was golf. I thought they easily could have put crowd noise in. All you gotta do is.
And it's nice and quiet, right? I mean, that's one that was probably the only.
Golf should have been the easiest one.
Yeah, golf should have been the easiest one, and golf should have been the one that people were like, oh, the players were like, this is great. I finally get quiet when I'm teeing up.
There's a twofold, right? Because they sacrifice the noise for the backstop, in meaning that some of those holes, when we play it as amateurs, because we're all tour players. They're tour, we're amateur, right? When we play, we don't have other people around the green. How many times Tiger's ball bounce, hit it, come back, like stuff like that. So the contours, when they put up, from going to a lot of professional golfing events and stuff, when they put the stands up and all the different venues, it's a totally different course than when you play. And, especially even Oakland Hills and, Ryder Cups and stuff like that. You play the South course and then open, and then when you're walking around, it's even different.
Fish, what else do you have?
I'll go with no me gusta, but I have a feeling that she's going to shut it down.
I mean, we'll see.
Do you think she's going to shut down high school sports?
It depends. If all these tests that come in every single day, if they get a lot of people testing positive, then yeah, I think she will shut down high school sports. But if people know that they're going to get tested every single day, maybe they're going to be a little bit more careful and not go, because the problem that I know is happening in high schools right now is house parties, weekend parties. So if you're an athlete and you want to play, especially your senior year when people are still trying to compete for scholarships and that opportunity to shine, you're going to take this seriously, and you're not going to be out partying with your friends. You're going to say, you know what, I'm going to stay home. I've come this far, and I do not want to test positive. So it depends. It's in their own hands almost.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the kids can go to school and they could still play softball, baseball, and whatever other sport, golf, going forward.
I mean, especially those that are softball, baseball, golf, those are not very much of contact sports. You have a little bit of contact in softball and baseball, but not golf.
No.
But yeah, I mean, they just have to be careful. They just have to be smart. So we will see what the future will hold for us Michiganders. All right, guys, when we come back.
You didn't vote, did you?
Oh, I didn't?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Did I try to slide under that
just
one?
to hear you speak Spanish, but you haven't said your piece.
Did I try?
I know I'm
thought I did.
island here.
No, you're not. I thought that I agreed with you. I'm sorry. I'm saying me gusta, simply because we're so close to this. If you tell me just tough it out another 6 weeks, fine.
But are we really close?
We're so much closer than what we were. Yes, I feel like
because then they're going to say there's another strain.
Spanish?
There's another strain coming. Hold on, here's another strain here. Are we really close?
Por favor.
Are we?
Señora, Por favor, ayúdanos. Estamos tan cerca al final. Por favor, escucha nuestras voces. Ayúdanos. I said, help us, please. Ma'am,
Thank you.
Help us.
Thank you. That was good.
Hear our voices.
There it is. Princess Leia. I love it.
Princess Leia.
Well, that's what she said. Luke. Or Obi-Wan. Hear my... Anyways.
Is that what they said?
What?
I went Obi-Wan. I went when R2-D2 played the holographic message back in the 77.
Oh.
Yes, Obi-Wan. I need your help.
I need your help. We do. We need your help. And we need guidance and we need answers is what we want. It's if the governor says we're going to shut down sports, we're going to shut down high school sports, we're going to send everybody back. I tried opening up the rules and you guys went a little bit too crazy. Y'all didn't mask up, you didn't keep your social distancing, and now here we are. Then fine, that's on us, right?
Here's the worst
gave us
part,
an inch,
guys.
we all took a mile.
You ready?
What?
Spring break is
the worst
continuing. Spring break is going to blow this whole thing up. It's going to be unfortunate.
True.
But kids are going to go on spring break. I'm talking grammar school kids, high school kids, college kids. We already know it down in Miami right now. So I know my kid's school, she goes to St. Joan of Arc, my little 8th grader, and they write you a note every week. They give you the school notes. And it says, if you're going out of town for Easter break, let us know. And, of course, you will spend the next week at home, of course, on your computer doing it that way. And that's the way they've been all year long.
Love that.
I know. But the high schools aren't doing it
They're
that
not
way
doing
right
that.
now. They're all in right now. And these kids... It's not going to be good.
But see, I
It's
feel
just
like
not
that to
gonna be
me
good.
is responsible.
Yes, they've
right?
been doing
That's
a great job.
common sense. That's how you're going to keep your numbers
Yes.
low in your school. All these kids right now that are going to be spring breaking in Florida, they're going to come back.
It's
and
go-
all
it's
these
gonna
parents that
blow
are
up.
trying to keep their kids safe and everybody free of COVID, now their kids are going to be exposed to it. This new strand is much easier spread than the last one. So we're just trying to get a hold of it. I love what your daughter's school is doing.
Yeah.
That if
They've
you
gone all year, too, Pilar.
if you
they haven't
love,
missed.
and there's some schools that have done that. I know
Yeah.
my husband's cousins, they've got a couple of their kids that they have not shut down their school, and they haven't had, I think they've had one case of COVID, and they nipped it right away, and they haven't had a problem with it. It's been great. I love that. If you leave for your break, great. But come back, and you're going to have to stay home for the week
a
or
week,
2 weeks,
yeah.
whatever it is,
And
to
hope
be
you're not
responsible.
tested, right? And
Right,
hope
get
that you're not
tested,
sick.
and then everything's great. I love that. That's common sense and
I
responsibility.
think that's the way it should be going
I
forward.
agree.
You use your
Sure.
head, folks.
Sure.
Use your head.
It's just, where's common sense nowadays? All right, let us know your thoughts. Keep the conversation going at Woodward Sports across the board on all of our social media. When we come back, a little bit of Lions Family Matters. Are people starting to play nice here? I love it. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com.
Hey folks, every day is game day in March. Look your best through all of this madness, and we can all agree it's been madness, but hey, go blue. And when you're cheering on the Wolverines, check out the newest Lady Jane's on the corner of Grand River and Whitmore Lake Road in Brighton, or a Grand Blanc location on Saginaw Street next to AutoZone. Let one of Lady Jane's award-winning stylists treat you like the king that you are. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from MyBookie Studios. It is Tuesday, March 23rd.
It's only
I'm
Tuesday?
Pilar Lastra. It is.
No, it's a good
Maz
Tuesday.
hates Tuesdays and TB12.
Hey, I want to test you, Mac. What are my favorite days in a row? Let me hear my days of the week. My favorites down to the
Thursday,
worst.
Saturday, Friday.
No. You already lost.
Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Thursday, Saturday. Friday,
Saturday.
Thursday, Saturday, Wednesday, Monday,
No,
Tuesday.
Sunday. You forgot Sunday. Sunday's 4th.
No, you hate church.
Sunday's 4th.
You hate church.
No, I don't.
You're telling everybody
church.
hates
Sunday's
church.
4th.
Stop it. Oh, my
You can't, no.
gosh.
Sorry. Friday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday.
Bingo. Nice
Bingo,
job.
that's a Tom Mazawey. That's the 7 pick. That's the 7 pick Tom Mazawey numbers right there. Get it down. We're going to do a quiz later on. Who knows when we're going to use it, but if you can name Maz's 7 favorite days in a row, I will think of something for a giveaway.
I want a T-shirt with that.
Yep. Quickest one. All right. I like it. No, we need to. I'm
Talk
giving you
to
a
Stalls.
Maz Hates Tuesdays and TB12.
Talk to our boys
Matt
at Stalls.
hates Tuesdays. I like that.
What's that?
Matt
Talk to our
hates-
boys at
I will.
Stalls.
Hey, you know what? Scotty questions. You can
Oh,
draw
Scotty.
it up. You know, thanks for the hook.
That's
If
right.
you like
Scotty
the
made
hook,
the
let
hook.
us know.
Yep, it looks great. It looks great. All right, guys, keep the conversation going on our social media at Woodward Sports. And, of course, make sure that you're downloading our app, Woodward Sports Network. You can find it in the Apple Store. You can find it in your Android store. Download it, like it, share it, spread the word. All right, guys, so much is going on. The Lions are playing nice. We tried to have some drama between the newest members, Jared Goff and Michael Brockers. We were like, what's going on here? Really nothing to see. An article on ESPN just released that the two are completely fine. Actually, it turns out that Michael Brockers reached out to Jared Goff right after the interview to kind of give him a heads up and say, hey, man, it didn't come off that way. I was just trying to pump up the
Look how
decision,
happy they are together.
the
Look at
new,
them guys.
the new quarterback coming in and the fans. He was like, but it was nothing to do with you. He said, you actually took me to a Super Bowl. And Jared Goff, of course, responded with, he's got nothing but love for him. And
That's right.
after that, it was all
Well, TMZ is the
kibosh.
one that always stirs the pot, right? And TMZ
actually-
talked to Brockers and got him on a last-minute thing. Hey, how's that Matthew Stafford trade looking? And he kind of said, hey, that's a step up for the Rams. You know, great quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day he gets traded to the Lions
Right.
for a 7th-round pick. Oops, Jared Goff here. And, of course, Brockers right away, what a pro, reaches out to him. Listen, man, I was only doing a little hype for the Rams. I'm on the Lions. It's you and me. Let's go win some games. So
Right.
they're all good. Jared Goff says we're good. I don't even know if Jared Goff's walking around Birmingham with a bodyguard anymore. You think he's happy yet? You think he's comfortable, Mac?
I don't even know if he's walking around.
I don't even know if he's walking around here. He was spotted one time. He was spotted one time, and now everybody thinks that, I mean, they're going to be
Well, now he walks
blocking
around
the
with
city.
his defensive end. Would you like to look at Brockers? I want that guy coming off the end, killing quarterbacks. Yes, so he can walk around with that quarterback.
Him and Romeo on the line should do well this year. So
Easy,
it's a
what do you
step
got
up.
for us?
D-Mac, can there be like beef like that on a team and still be success, like as far as like championship wise, even like just winning games?
Yeah, I mean, if guys have beef from time, like you're not always going to get along 100% all the time, but the whole thing is, are your intentions on the same goal, and is there any maliciousness there? Now, like if it's a guy calling it like it is, I brought up Brett Hull. Brett Hull would tell you how much you sucked or how much somebody else was better or not. It depends how it comes and where it's coming from. And obviously, you look at that situation, and these guys have been to so-called war together. They've been to a Super Bowl together. They have history. You're not always, it's like a brotherhood and a family. Now, it doesn't last when you can't trust that person. You don't have to like them, but you got to respect them. And that's exactly whatever's going on. And is he out of line? The only person is freaking Stick Bayless that thinks that Goff is better talented than Matt Stafford. So Brockers, no. It'd be the same thing as we got a new goaltender or a new quarterback in town. You're going to look at the positives to it. And this is more what we were talking about earlier about how anything can be misconstrued these days. So, the accountability is the man-to-man, and they're good, so we're all good.
And I love that they put it to kibosh themselves. It's just one of those things where nothing to see here, people. Move along. No drama. The Lions are moving forward, and guess what? We are headstrong, or whatever those sayings are, but headstrong and moving on to a championship, my friends.
Amen.
All right, when we
In 5
come
years.
back, listen, anytime in the near future, all right? I'll take it anytime in the near future. When we come back, D-Mac's going to be naming that teammate. So don't go anywhere. You're tuning into The Hook on Woodward Sports Network.
Morning, Art.
Morning, D-Mac.
Welcome back to The Hook on Woodward Sports Network, Detroit's all-digital network, live from my bookie studios. It is Tuesday, March 23rd, and it is time for us to name that teammate, one of our favorite segments here on the show. Make sure that you are tweeting at us, Facebooking us, Instagramming, YouTubing, whatever you guys like to do at Woodward Sports to let us know who you want D-Mac to talk about. We're making a list and then keeping them going. All right, so D-Mac, who do you have for us today?
I will rescind over to Maz. And Maz, who do we have for me today? I mean, I know, but I like the lead in from Maz because this person is different. Go ahead.
This is a guy you didn't win a Stanley Cup with, but he was brought here to win one. Number 31, with the best hockey face mask ever. Cujo. Curtis Joseph.
Nickname Curtis Joseph.
And we have some.
Oh my God, Cujo! Wow. Oh, they're live.
They're live, baby.
Oh, wow. I was
buddy.
like, where did you get that photo of what's up, brother?
An older version of Curtis.
Dude, I'm like, see what I mean? I always say, the one thing about Cujo is that, like I said, if you're going to compare him, and I'm a huge NASCAR, but he's like the Jimmy Johnson of the NHL. He's just like, they just don't come any cooler, no matter what he does. And my memories of Cujo, obviously, we're playing against him, in his St. Louis days and all those teams back in the 90s.
Toronto,
But
Edmonton.
after winning in 02 and having him come here, the one thing is, you know what? It's unfortunate, the hockey success, but we had fun. It was my last 2 years, so 02, 03, 03, 04, before the lockout that sort of screwed everybody. But, definitely one of the people that I always like to hear the history. And I tell everybody is that I don't know if Cujo can get upset. I know he's got a temper because he's a fierce competitor and he likes goalie fights and stuff. He's been in a few goalie fights himself. So, but how have you been there, Curtis? And Mrs. Joseph, how are you?
She happens to be a friend of Pilar's, by the way.
But no, that's what I was going to ask. When I wanted you to see, if Maz would segue stuff the way that I wanted, right, he would say Curtis Joseph, and I would go, oh, is that who it is? Well, Pilar, before we get into my teammate Curtis Joseph, do we not have a similarity here? Are we not connecting the dots? So,
yes, Mike.
So since, surprise, good to see you guys. I'll let you start, you sneaky buggers, you.
So I actually thought, Curtis and Stephanie, thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you so much for surprising our good friend here, D-Mac.
Awesome.
Stephanie, thanks for pulling this together. So D-Mac actually always likes to show a picture of him and the teammate that he was talking about. So I think that when we went to you guys, D-Mac was kind of like, man, I sure did get beautiful.
No. I thought it was a picture of Cujo and his wife that you got because you were friends of theirs. And I was like, yeah, there's Curtis. That looks, a little older than when he played. The hair's a little bit cut. Still as good looking as ever, though, right? Like, can you imagine? This guy was a goalie, right? So you know what they say about goalies? Right, there's something wrong with them, right?
But gotta have something wrong with
Cujo,
you.
listen, Cujo's the most normal. Like him and Ozzy were more on the same cut of cloth, right? And Cujo as a goalie has to stick up for this, but you would never put Cujo and Dominic Hasek in the same category as far as sanity. Because this man is sane and that man is insane.
Yes.
Right? So goalies give a bad rap, but so you're coaching these days, Cujo?
No, I'm just I'm pretty much retired and enjoying life, but I do work up in Toronto as an ambassador. Real easy stuff. So I split time between Toronto and Arizona, and able to enjoy the family, enjoy the kids growing up, and I do miss the game though, Mac. We played hard, and you do miss that aspect.
Well, it's a challenge, right? And it's the era that we played. And let me ask you, as a former player, because the goaltenders have the greatest view of all the games. Now, obviously, the game has changed a lot, but from your perspective, what is the biggest positive and then the biggest negative of the game that we don't play anymore, thank God, because I wouldn't want to play it.
Right. So, first of all, me and you, we'd have a tough time. Our jobs are becoming obsolete. I'm under 6 feet, and there's not a lot of fighting left in the game. So
right.
It'd be tough for us these days, but I do miss the toughness and that part of the game. The game is very skilled, which is amazing, but there's a little. It's a little too soft during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, it seems to change a little bit. But the goaltending aspect, the goalies are amazing. I mean, they've changed. The goaltending position has changed so much from when I started. Guys are huge and they're great athletes, and the equipment's so much better, so it dictates that they can play that way. But so that's a big thing that's changed. But I'm going to say, yeah, I would like to see a little more toughness in the game. You did a great job of that. You allowed your teammates to play a lot bigger than they were supposed to. So I miss that part.
I think you and I both, because we're such big fans and whatever the game is the accountability. Right, the accountability's gone because you play behind, twist and chase and stuff that would keep everything accountable. So that's awesome, and thank you. Appreciate it. Do you have any questions for Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Yes.
So D-Mac just said that Curtis doesn't lose his cool and never gets angry. Is that true or false?
It's false, but it's super, super rare that he loses it. And I remember one time we were under a lot of pressure with some stuff that was happening in our lives, and I remember just asking him, like, are you ever going to go postal? I mean, because you're scaring me that you're so calm during this like really stressful time in our lives. But he'll get worked up every once. It's not very common.
No, that's the Cujo I'm talking about. Is that it's just whatever it is? Is that? But there's the fuse in there, and you always love that from your goalie.
But I would say what's crazy is that with a name like Cujo, I mean, I thought of Cujo, and you think of the dog.
Well, look
Saint
at his
Bernard,
mask. I have a
right? Yeah.
picture. I have a picture for you of his famous goaltending mask.
And this, see the sort of the
That's
Cujo, the dog with the
ferocious,
teeth
yeah.
and everything like that.
So you would think that somebody with the nickname of Cujo would be pretty hot-tempered.
Pilar's saying
Pretty
that you don't
ferocious.
have a bite, bro. That's what
No,
she's saying.
that is not what I'm
Said
saying.
You
That's
don't got
not-
a bite, bro. And I'm saying
Here's
that's wrong.
one.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
one that Mac hit me in the face in practice. Look, it's broken bars and everything. This is we have Stephanie put up a nice display of a bunch of masks. So
That's
here's one that
beautiful.
Mac probably hit right in the face.
That's great decor in that Arizona. I love it.
If I hit you, it was an accident. I was aiming for Hasek and Legacy. I couldn't tell,
course,
so that
of
was all
course.
good.
Curtis, I wanted to ask you, by the way, Tom Mazawey, thanks for coming on with us. Stephanie, thank you as well. Your years here in Detroit, when you did sign that contract, Kenny Holland brought you over. Tell me about your years in Detroit. I know they were tough because they didn't win a Stanley Cup, and we wanted to win a Stanley Cup with you as our goaltender, but you lost to the two teams that wound up representing the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup Finals. Tell us about your time here in Detroit.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Definitely ran into SHHHH, who was at a .988 save percentage. I didn't play as well as I should have either. Sometimes you don't transition as well. The first year, I definitely didn't play as well as I could have, and I judge that by being able to steal a game here and there, and obviously put up wins. But going against SHHHH, and they went to the finals, and he might have been Conn Smythe winner.
He did.
That's tough, and that's
Devils won,
part
though.
of the game. But the second year, I thought I played a lot better.
No question.
Curtis, typically in this segment, it's D-Mac who's giving great memories of his former teammates. Can you share one of your greatest memories that you have with D-Mac? You can embarrass him if you want. No, I'm kidding.
I do. Of course, these guys know that you gotta. It's tough to beat me to embarrassment because I embarrass myself even more. So that's it. I don't know if other than that's it. Taking pucks off the face and stuff.
Right. I don't have any embarrassing moments with Mac. I always respected the way he played. He played an honest game, and he always made his teammates a lot tougher than they should have been, which is a great sign. And that's I really respected the guys who were able to back up the way they played, and Mac was definitely one of them. I do remember our sons were good friends and hockey players at that time, so I saw a different side to Mac. He was a great dad and a great parent, and those are things that I remember about Mac also.
And you know what? Ironically, right, the greatest thing that I did was the kid's smarter. He got himself into UCLA, graduated. He just got named their head coach of their hockey team for UCLA Bruins there last week. So he's doing good.
Great.
He'll be 20. He's only 24. He'll be 25 in May. So same like you said, these kids are growing up, but we did do something right, brother. We must have done something right, because that's what I always told him, is his love of the game, and you saw it knowing my son and me knowing yours, and these kids have their own love of the game that is different than ours, and so they can express it, the way that they want, and that's awesome. I always appreciate, I always loved you as a teammate. I love the competitiveness. That's the one thing you said, is like that. You know what? Where his fierceness was is the competitor. That's the Cujo. Is that the dog is in that, and he's a fierce competitor.
It's great to have him here.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time, brother.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. Stephanie, thanks so much for helping us with the surprise.
Yeah, that was
good job,
We
my
got
friend.
him.
Good
We
job.
got him.
You got him. Got him.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us, Stephanie and Curtis Joseph. A name that teammate. We'll see you guys again soon. Don't be strangers
Thanks,
to the
guys.
show.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Later.
So
Well
we
done.
hijacked your segment.
No.
Did we surprise
you?
you?
Want to do that? Anytime you wanted to hijack my segment with somebody that we're talking about, that's not hijacking the segment. That's enhancing it, Pilar.
That was Pilar's idea. I came up with Cujo. She writes me later, like a minute later. I know his wife. Maybe we can get him on. I'm
I
like,
was just going to segue. So in the future, right? So when you're going to do that. Because I was going to go, oh, well, Pilar. And then you would have went, well, matter of fact, I got a picture. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's real.
It's live.
Is she on Deal or No Deal?
You still got the effect.
Was she a Deal or No Deal host?
No, she should have been. She's so pretty. No, we've just known each other for years.
Got it.
For years and years and years. So, yeah.
That's
good.
awesome.
You were on some
Good
TV
friends, so-
shows as well. So did she do any of that with you?
No, when I was on the show Las Vegas.
Yeah.
No, we've just been friends. We've just known each other for so many years.
Well, good
Yep.
pull, kid.
She's
Give it to me.
great. Yep.
Yeah,
Listen.
right here.
Listen, I like to
you
throw
hooked it.
surprise
You
birthdays.
hooked it. The hook of the night. Pilar
I like
Lastra.
to throw big surprise birthday parties and stuff. So, okay, all right, guys, all right. Stop. Keep going. No, I'm kidding. So, D-Mac, did you say what you wanted to say? We've got 2 minutes left of this show,
You know
so
what?
I want to make sure we didn't completely.
We got Who You Like
take
still.
over. Yeah, we got.
We can bit that, but no. Curtis Joseph, like that's where the Cujo came from, and he was a quiet, but like when the passion that he had and the love of the game, and just one of the smartest hockey minds. When I say about in goal, and you can see Chris Osgood articulate on Fox Sports now and take the behind the net now. Cujo's got that sense of humor too, and he's just like one of those just cool guys.
Wing
Cool.
fans were hard on him. They didn't win the cup. They blamed the goaltender, of course. You blame the quarterback. So it wasn't the greatest couple of years here in Detroit. I always rooted for him. It was always a stand-up guy. So things happen, like you said. That's life.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So as we are coming up to the end of our show, it's time for Who You Like. All right, Maz.
I'm 2-0 from last
you
night.
like?
I'm red hot again.
All right, go
Get
for
back
it.
on the train. I gave you Michigan and Alabama. Both dominated. Michigan a little closer, but they did dominate nonetheless. Tonight, I've got you two old hometown teams of mine, and I love them both. Take the New York Knicks right off that brawl from back in whatever the hell it was, 96 or something like that, and bet them tonight. They're going to play the Wizards. They're 2.5-point favorites. Knicks minus 2.5, and the Nets are in Portland. Yeah, they don't have Kyrie Irving. I still like them. They're underdog. They are getting 3.5. I love the Nets to win the game outright. So Knicks and Nets, there's your daily double.
All right, D-Mac.
Well,
Who you got?
I was gonna show you the sort of we're fast forward through, but the Wings play tonight, and what we need is
Tomorrow
night.
Yeah.
So, you sure?
No, tonight.
It's tonight.
Oh, my
Thanks,
goodness.
Matt.
Here we go.
Jesus.
Pistons are tomorrow.
Look, and they're plus 135. They're going to come out. Like Matt said earlier in the day, they opposited it, played the first good game at home. I expect them. They played well in Nashville. I expect them to get the victory and play well. It's going to be a close game, though. So take the Wings tonight.
All right. Against
All
the
right,
Predators.
easy. Do you have a pick tonight, or are you coming in with one tomorrow?
Give me the Nuggets. I like the Nuggets over the Orlando Magic.
Chicken?
I mean, shit, what you trying to say, D-Mac? You trying to call me that? What's going on over here now? No, yeah, I like the Nuggets tonight. And then give me the 76ers over the Warriors. Steph Curry fell a couple days ago, hurt his bum. I don't know if you guys seen that. So, and the 76ers have been hot. So, give me Nuggets and the Sixers.
All right, Fish. Who you got?
I'm going Wellington Phoenix over Melbourne Victory. They play tomorrow, and then you ready for your pick? You're going to Spain. You're going to basketball in Spain. You're picking Barcelona.
How can
basketball.
you lose? You can't lose.
Can't.
I'm betting that
Viva
one, too.
España!
Fish, can
Viva
I bet that
España!
one? Thank you.
All right, Art, you got one for us?
Yeah, Fish just let me know that him and I have the same record. We're both 8-7 in this contest, so we're above 500. I'm gonna take Maz's pick, Brooklyn Nets, straight up. I think they got what it takes.
Good job, Art.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here, joining us on our app, on Facebook, on YouTube, however it is that you tune in. Thanks so much for your support, for all of your comments, and keeping the conversation going on our social media at Woodward Sports. Very special thanks to our friends Stephanie and Curtis Joseph for joining us and helping us surprise our man over here, D-Mac. So for D-Mac, for Maz, for Fish, for Art, and for our boy Easy D, I'm Pilar Lastra. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
You're live in the middle of the Darren McCarty brand pheno hunt test. This is a lot harder than you'd think.
Yeah, I was wondering
so we'll be unveiling the black eye strain, which very proud of the grow, the consistency, the burn, the flush, everything else. The one thing that I realize and recognize now is that there's so many different pheno cuts that some are more lemony, some are more fruity. So I think I'm gonna pick the one that best describes what the brand is. And if you don't know, it's the fist, it's the plant. I gotta come out punching you in the face. So this one, the black eye, it's gonna be something that you're gonna know that I was there. But I'm very proud of my Pincana family, my Radical Genetics guys, and gotta smoke a few more. But again, I volunteered. This plant came and got me. It's serving Stacy Roost, Bob Rouse, Brett Hall, and Weiser. Wow. Weiser, man. See, Captain? The captain doesn't always finish first. Suck it, Steve. Anyways.